What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at some Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series retro carded figures. So first up we have Beachhead. Now of course we've had figures like these before on the retro cards, so they have the nice classic card back design. So like Beachhead here has a nice picture of him, old aesthetic to it, but with a modern design. But we got Beachhead with the G.I. Joe up top. Of course our figure that looks pretty nice in a nice retro design comes with classic weapons as well as more modern design weapons. So that looks pretty cool. And if we spin around, we do get like the file card on the back. So we get this file card up there, and then of course all the figures of this wave that we have. So that is pretty cool with the nice retro design, especially for the figure. Then we have the eel, and again we've had all these figures before, so we'll have to compare their looks. But there we got the eel, the divers for Cobra, and looks pretty nice again. Has pretty much all the same accessories we've had before, just more in that classic design for the eels. And then finally we have the Snow Serpent, which looks nice as well, and I will compare each one of these with their original so we can see which one we like more, the retro style or the modern day classified version. But looks pretty good for all three of these, and I'm excited to check these out. So let me get these open and out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. Well, let's start off with Beachhead, whose real name is Wayne Sneeden. He was a ranger whose life is defined by patience, discipline, and dedication to his profession. And he also believes that anger is a waste of energy, and he'd rather get even against his enemies. Now, he looks cool here, and we have had the other Beachhead before. It was, I think, the Cobra Eel version. So nice to get this retro version here that looks nice and classic. So we see he does have a lot of green design, and even down to his pants, some green on them with the camo, but brown mostly there. But looks pretty good over. So he has the balaclava on his head, so completely covering his head. Love that design with the green, so you can see some of his face there with his eyebrows and angry looking eyes. And then he's got the green shirt on, almost like the sweatshirt design or whatever. That's pretty nice. So we get the collar there around his neck, comes down the arms to the cuffs there on his sleeves, a little bit of pockets and elbow designs, probably some additional padding. Looks like we have a 75 on his left arm there, so it looks good with the vest on over the top. Looks like we have some extra magazines and some storage pockets going all the way around that, connecting down to the belt. We do also have his beret folded up and stuffed into his shoulder pad there, so that's what that red is, because the last one came with the red beret, but this one does not. And then, like I said, the camo pants, so mostly all brown, but with some green on the camo as well. Some thigh holsters there, all the way down to the black boots, where he does also have a knife sheath there stored. So looks pretty nice overall for this Beachhead. But for movements, we'll get that'll twist all the way around, and it can look down that far and up that far. So you can see it does have a hinge in there. Of course, it feels a little stiff, so probably not the best movements, but if you get it worked out, it starts moving a little bit better. But then you can also see we do have the lower neck joint, so that sort of rocks back and forth with it, and it kind of twists around as well. So that's pretty nice. Then we get the shoulders that come up to 90 with the butterfly joint, pretty nice back and forth. It'll twist all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend up that far. So again, all the way up on itself. So really nice. Wrist will twist around and hinge. Now this should have a hinge up and down joint, feels like. But because of that cuff, it's, pretty deep in there. So you don't get a whole lot of range. But then we can go to the ab crunches. So you should have multiple crunches in here, but we're not going to get much because of the vest. It'll just rock back and forth a little. You can get some of that crunch you can see cut out there. So it'll get some of that back and forth. But then specifically at the waist, he'll crunch and twist all the way around. Then down to the hips, up to 90, out to the side. Has a little bit of drop down hip you can push back up in there. But a thigh twist that'll twist all the way around. The double knee joint that'll bend up. As usual with the pinless joints, it's stiff, so if you can get it that far back, pretty much kicking himself in the butt, especially there if you force it. Then we get the shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So really good range of movements, no complaint at all with that. And then of course we get a lot of accessories as we usually do. So first off, we do get a backpack we can put on. So nice all black backpack, looks pretty nice with its design. We do have some additional arrows, looks like probably flashlight and stuff. This, I think it's supposed to be like a mine detector, I think is what I read it's supposed to be. Not exactly sure what it does or how it works, but we get that. But we can just take this and stick it onto his back. A little hard to get in, but there's the backpack on him. We also get an ammo bag, so this bag we can put around him that has some additional ammunition or something in it there. So not exactly sure what's going on, but we can put this up and around him. Now, of course, with that backpack on, it will cause some issues, so it'd probably be better if you choose between one or the other, either the ammo bag or the backpack, but I'll just kind of leave both of them on there for now, just cause a little bit too much mess going on around him. Then we start moving to the weapons, so we get some knives. We get two different knives for him, so we have one with a black handle, nice thicker black handle, then one with a smaller green, and the green's going to be match most of the weapons and everything. Now, the green goes into the thigh holster here on the right, so we get the little sheath, I guess, for it. We can stick it in, so it'll store right down in there, and then on the bottom right leg we do also get an ankle sheath that we can store the black knife in, and it'll store on there. He also comes with a pistol, so we get a small black pistol, and it also comes with a silencer that we can put on. So the end has the hole with the peg on the silencer we can put in, or suppressor, I always forget. But you have that design as well, and we can store this into this right thigh holster. And now we have the slot for the gun, so we can store in there, and then the silencer piece can go in the front, so they'll store together right there on his thigh. Then we also get some smoke grenades, so the little tiny grenades here. Of course, I always hate these because don't know what to do with them, don't really use them in his hands, but we can try to store him on his chest on the bag piece, like, or slide him on there. So there, they'll store on the front, so you can just store them anywhere around that strap if you have it on him. So it just gives you an extra spot there. Then we also get a crossbow, so a crossbow in the green color, so like this army green. Looks pretty nice, just a small little crossbow. Now with this, we can store this onto his backpack, so he has a slot in the back here that this can store into. I'm not exactly sure how it stores exactly. So you just store it in his back like that. So you put the handle down inside the bag, there's a little slot in there, and you just store it there, so it'll store the crossbow there on his back. And finally, we get his main gun, the XF7 Wasp machine gun. Now, I only know that because I looked up what the old original figure came with, and it matched pretty much exactly. So, again, in that green color, has the nice fold-out little stock there. We do get a magazine that can come out, which it's weird. It's in the gray color, but it's sort of green there on the tip that goes into the gun, with the suppressor there at the front as well. So, it looks pretty nice, so we can try and put this into his hand. So there I got the gun in, and it's going to be hard to sort of pose him up, especially the straps and all this on the front of him. Be hard to get it crossed over to double hand the gun, but he looks really cool there like that. And then of course he does also come with the display, so I always love that about the retro. They come with a little display stand with the Joe logo on it, so let's put him there. So there he is on the stand now. He'll stay standing, especially with all those accessories. And as I mentioned, we have had the older Beachhead. So this was, again, part of the Cobra Island. So more modern design for Beachhead. Looks pretty good overall, this, but definitely love this figure. It's got much better upgraded joints and all that. Very nice design overall. Now, the problem with me with Beachhead, he just looks like one of your generic soldiers. So nothing really stands out or really crazy about him. Just the green is the only thing that's really, like, noticeable. So he's not, like, the most interesting figure or character. So I would have wished for others, but he still looks nice in this form that we got him. And next up, the Cobra Eel, which are regularly trained underwater demolition specialists for Cobra that operate marine outposts and serve on Cobra's naval vessels. So this looks pretty cool, but comparing it especially to our other figure we've already got of him, it doesn't really look that much different. Of course, we'll do that comparison, but like colors and everything seem almost the same, so I'm not sure why this is considered a retro compared to the other ones, but yeah, it looks almost the same. And we've had this before, so he does have a lot of like the scuba gear design on him, so he has like the wetsuit from head to toe. I love like the black, almost like balaclava again, but again, the wetsuit coming up around his head with a little mask design. We do see his eyes there uncovered, but we'll get a helmet to put on him. Then we start to go to his outfit, especially here on the chest piece, so a piece of like armor or something going there that I assume is supposed to attach up with the oxygen tanks on his back. A little bit of armor as well on his shoulders and forearms, so a little bit of padding on there with a little control device, so it looks like a little sonar piece there with some gray pants design, so it comes up to the belt there and has a strap going around it, and then the pants come down in the gray all the way to the feet, so again, like a wetsuit design. Does have a sheath there on its left and a little bit of pockets around the waist as well. So like I said, pretty generic, especially in this form, but I know the last ones I love the figure a lot, so it's always one of my favorite figures with the scuba gear just because I think they look pretty cool. So this one's going to be good as well. Like I said, I just don't know what the difference is between the two. But for his movements, his head will twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. Again, not a whole lot of range in the neck, just because it's on the dumbbell joint up in there, so just a little bit back and forth, so not much. But then we get the shoulders that should come up, but with their shoulder pads, of course, can't really get too much at all. It's just a little back and forth there, so that kind of stings. You can't really get their shoulders up. But they do have the butterfly joint still, so it can go back and forth with the bicep twist just under that armor pad as well, and the double elbow joint that'll bend up there. Then we can go down to the wrist that'll twist around and has the hinge up and down for the right hand. Then the ab crunch, we can clearly see that cut out. Crunch forward, crunch back, so nice crunching. And then at the waist it crunches and twists all the way around. Down to the hips will come up to 90, out to the side. They can do the splits. Of course, with those drop down hips, got to push back up. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint, again real stiff, but can bend up that far to the back, which isn't bad. We get a shin twist, but lower down towards the ankle, so just above that there, we'll twist around, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent movements once again. It's kind of surprising that Beachhead actually had better range overall for movements, but they're not that much different. Now for the eels, we get all the scuba gear. So first we get the backpack, so the oxygen tanks, and then also has, their thing to sort of propel them through the water. Looks pretty nice with the red Cobra area on the back there, so covering the oxygen tank and stuff. And we can just plug this into his back. So there he's got the oxygen tank now. Then we can add the helmet, so we get the helmet design all in this gray. So this gray has like a yellowish green sort of tint to it. I don't know if it's just the camera, but there is some like an off sort of weird gray to it. So I don't know if that's what's going to be the main difference, and it's on like, you know, his armor and stuff on him. So not sure what's going on with that, but we can slide this onto his head. So there he's got the helmet. I can never get the helmets on to sit properly where they're down low enough and straight on, so I always have to fight around with that quite a bit. But there he's got the helmet with the tubes that do go around and connect into the backpack there as well, so that's always nice. Then he also comes with the flippers, so we get the flippers for each feet, which again, always part of the thing that makes me like these even more. So we'll put these on his feet. So there's the flippers on his feet. Again, love that design, especially if you try and pose him up with swimming and stuff. It just gives a nice little detail. And of course, having those helps keep him standing as well, so no issues with him falling over. Then we get weapons. So first he comes with a knife. So nice knife with a serration there on it with a red handle. Now this will go down onto the leg sheath here. We can store it. So store it right down on there. And finally, we get the harpoon gun, just like the last one. Has a nice gold tip on the end of the bolt. And then we also have this blue little strap coming off instead of red like the last one. So let's put this in his hand. So there he's got the harpoon gun in his hand. So it's hard to kind of pose up, especially with the string and stuff there. And then the shoulders don't move a lot, so can't really do too much. But there he's just got it in his hands. And of course, it comes with the stand. Like I said, don't really need it because the flippers are so big, but he comes with it, so we'll put him on. So there he is on the stand, and even with the flippers, they still stand there, which is nice. And then, like I said, we do have that older figure, so here's that, which, like I said, from the camera here, I can see a difference, especially in the gray color. So like I said, this gray on this one has like a yellow sort of tint to it, where this one just seems like a flat gray. But other than that, they don't really seem too much. Like I said, just maybe different shades of gray or something. Like even the legs and stuff sort of had a yellow tint on this retro one compared to the solid gray. But other than that, like everything else matches almost exactly between them. So it's weird that they did this in the retro because there's not much difference in the figure, so kind of weird for that, but still always nice to have the eels. Like I said, always one of my favorite figures just because I love the whole swimming gear and all that form, so always nice for that. So really nice to add another eel to the collection. And our final figure is the Snow Serpent, which is a branch of the eels. They serve as Cobra's cold weather specialists that have undergone months of training in Arctic conditions, as well as airborne operations and anti-tank procedures. So these look pretty cool. Again, like the newer design that we got, this one just being in the old, more retro colors with like this blue on it a lot is really cool. So I think I do like this one more with the blue. Just has the blue like harness piece on the front, so the harness that comes down with whatever this is stored on the front. Not sure if it almost makes me think of like a parachute or something, but not sure. And the straps come down around the crotch, and then we get the thigh holsters on each side all the way down to the boots in blue, and then we even have some blue on the gloves there, so the under part of the gloves. And then we go up to their face mask, so again for snow, so they're going to be completely covered and covered in this suit that's got a lot of fur on it. So we get the mask design there completely covering their face, but I love like the white helmet with the black face mask, and we can see like where the eyes would be through there. Then we get some fur around the neck, so nice fur design. Love how it's got like a yellowish sort of tint to it, and up on the shoulders and on the glove pieces. And then we can go, like I said, all the way down to the boots, where I love how the boots even have like the cover, you know, the pants sort of come down over the boots as well with them there in the blue, and just looks nice all around with that off-white collar design. Now moving, so the head can twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far. Again, not a whole lot of range, but between the two neck joints, so the head and neck, and then the neck and main body, all those joints work together. You get some movements, not the best, but for what it's got, you know, can't do too much more because of the fur, so nice overall. The shoulders come up to 90 with the butterfly back and forth, and we'll rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow. That's pretty stiff on it, but it'll bend up that far at least. The wrist will twist all the way around and hinge up and down, feels like there. And then we should have like an ab crunch, so we're not sure what's going on behind all this, but you know, at least crunch back and forth a little there, and can twist around just very little. Now this is a figure that doesn't really twist around normally, like I'm starting to fight me there, so just a little bit back and forth is all you get. Then the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side again, pretty close to the splits with the drop down hips. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint bends up that far to the back, actually some better knee joint there. We get the shin twist up in the bottom of the pant leg there, so it'll twist all the way around, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent range, still not as good as Beachhead, but overall nice for what it is. And we get his accessories. So first we get a backpack in the white, has some canteen designs on there, and of course all sorts of padding and pockets that we can stick into his back. So that'll store on the back of there. Then we get some goggles for his face. So we get goggles with nice metallic blue lens on them. So we can slide this down on him. So there's more eye protection on them. They also come with some snowshoes. So we got these with the last figure as well, just in white this time. So nice snowshoe designs we can put on his feet. So there he's got the snowshoes on his feet as well, now ready to traipse through the snow. Then we go to weapons, and he comes with 2 pistols. So 2 identical little pistols there that we can put into the thigh holsters on each side. So those are stored in the thigh holsters. And finally, he comes with the rifle. I don't know what kind of rifle this is, and it's not what the old original toy had, but nice rifle design. Has a little foregrip, has a bipod that can fold back and forth, has scope up top, and then of course the magazine back here towards the back will come in and out. So it looks pretty nice that we can put into his hand. Now, unfortunately, with his hand design, I can't even get the gun fully into his hand just because of all the fur and the way this gun is designed. So not a good gun to give to him. So that's going to stink. So you can only really hold it one-handed. And like I said, not even fully one-handed at that. So there he's got that. And then, of course, we get a base, which is nice that it comes in this whitish color, like a really light gray, off-white sort of color. But with this, if we keep his snowshoes on, he can't stand on because the snowshoes don't have a slot. So we can't put it on. And not that it really matters, but we'll just leave him like that for now. And of course, like I said, we've already had this figure in the more modern designs of the Snow Serpent. So there we've got that, which looks pretty nice as well. But like I said, I think with just the blue alone makes me like the retro one more just because I love the blue and I think it stands out more. But of course, this Snow Serpent came with a lot more. It came with like the wolf's fur that you could put on as well to make it look even cooler. So I do like that newer design one, but the retro one here is really cool just with the blue. Well, that's it for our retro G.I. Joe Classified Series figures where we got Beachhead, the Cobra Eel, and the Snow Serpent. All 3 really cool. Like I said, out of the Beachheads, this is definitely my favorite, so I like this. Like I said, I just wish he had more to him and wasn't so plain. Really like the Cobra Eels. I like the last ones, like this one as well. Just don't really see too much of a color difference, so don't know why they made this one. And then the Snow Serpent, which like I said, with the blue, makes me like this one more than the other, but the other one's really cool as well. So let me know what you thought of these 3 down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.